Solo Leveling Episode 1, and finally the anime we all have been waiting for this season has come out. And man, what a first episode it was. I think we can all agree that this episode was very good. I mean, it was almost perfect, or perfect even, because it had everything. It had action, it had plot development, it had character development, it had fights, it had everything you want in a first episode. And it's definitely, again, one of those episodes that makes you want to watch the second episode and even the whole season as a whole. And this episode definitely did that for me. We got introduced to our main protagonist, Sung. He is a very weak character, probably one of the weakest characters we have seen ever, in the history of anime as a whole. Especially when you take into consideration where he is, he's in a dangerous world where portals have opened and these portals lead to dungeons. So being weak in this type of world is actually not a good thing in a way, because if you want to be an adventurer or a person that goes into dungeons to earn a living, you have to be a little bit strong, at least not very weak. But of course, Sung is actually very weak, as we saw in this episode. He even mentions that he gets injured constantly going in E rank missions. So yeah, he is probably below a rank E adventurer. I think the lowest you can go is rank E, all the way up to rank S, but to be honest, I don't think Sung classifies as a rank E adventurer. So yeah, that's actually pretty funny when you think about it. We saw how in this episode we got introduced to the whole concept, or the whole world that is, the solo leveling universe. We got introduced to, the portal that opened 10 years ago, and in this portal there are monsters, some stronger, some weaker. These monsters apparently drop some crystals or gems, and these crystals can be converted into stronger weapons in order to defeat stronger enemies. Or on the other hand, you can sell, the gems or the crystals in order to earn a living, which is the way that almost all adventurers, or whatever you want to call them, earn a living. But we also get explained in this episode that the government is actually trying to, form these crystals, gems, in order to produce a new way of making energy. So they're trying to basically, I guess you can say, buy or steal. I don't know what exactly is going on there, but yeah, they're trying to make a new way of energy with this sort of crystals. And not only that, but it was mentioned that also they're trying to make weapons. Not the weapons that I mentioned before, the weapons that are made into swords and axes and things like that. Not like that. I mean weapons in the sense of weapons of mass destruction, new weapons that can be used in war or things like that. So yeah, they have different ideas on how to use these gems. So let's see what happens with that. I think that is actually something important that was mentioned in the episode, and that I think will be really important going forward. Yeah, we saw how in this episode we got flashbacks, how Sung was in some missions and then he got hurt. In some of them he almost starved to death. In others he almost got killed because he got pierced or something like that. Definitely not very easy for Sung to go on this mission, but at least I gotta give him something, and that is that he's actually really brave. He doesn't shy away from going into action. Any other person that week will obviously, be a little bit careful, or not even go into missions at all. So yeah, at least I gotta give them. So yeah, at least I gotta give him that he's actually really brave. He doesn't shy away. He's not scared. He goes right into missions, knowing full well that he can potentially die. Although at the same time, we saw how at the end of the episode, when he saw the big statue, moving, or I should say moving its eyes, that he was actually, I think, scared for the first time. Really scared to actually die. Because of course he has gotten scared in other missions. Like I said already, he has almost been killed a couple of times. So it is not out of the ordinary for him to get scared. But I think for the first time he actually did get scared that he was actually going to die. You can even see his face, how he was reacting to the big statue moving. And there is another girl that is accompanying him. Sorry if I don't remember exactly the names of the characters. This is my first time watching the anime. Of course this is a game because this is the first episode. But what I mean by this is that I haven't read the source material. So yeah, I think the only name I can remember right now is Sung Jin-Woo. I think that is his name, which is of course our main character or main protagonist. So of course I'm going to remember that name. So yeah, when he's in this mission, he finds another dungeon inside the dungeon, and they decide to vote what to do, should they go into the dungeon or should they leave the dungeon, and they decided to go in because Sung Jin-Woo had the last vote, so it was all on him on what to do, and they decided to go in. And then they find this big room, this big kind of temple. I don't know exactly what the room they are in is. I think it's some kind of praying to the gods temple or something like that. I could be completely wrong, of course, but they find this place inside. I think it was a E or D rank mission or dungeon. So yeah, it is pretty weird to find that type of room there. If I were to guess, and I have to remind everybody again that I'm only an anime watcher, so I don't have any sort of information, I think everybody but our main protagonist Sung Jin-Woo will die. I don't know, I have this feeling that even the girl that is with him will die. I mean, the anime is called Solo Leveling after all, so it's not even a big prediction or anything like that, but yeah, I have this feeling that everyone will die. It was mentioned when they were reading the ancient text that they should obey the gods, which I think are the statues, so maybe everyone will defy or not obey the statues. Maybe they will do something that will, you know, anger the statues, and because of that they will get killed. It is going to be pretty interesting seeing, you know, Sung Jin-Woo leveling up episode by episode. That is something that I really like about this type of anime, you know, the progress of seeing a character episode by episode leveling up is very good in my opinion, especially when you have a weak character like Sung Jin-Woo, because I mean, again, he's really weak, probably one of the weakest characters ever, so seeing him leveling up is going to be really good. And we saw how there were other parties, you know, introduced in the episode. I guess not other parties, I guess I should say adventurers introduced. A lot of them were S rank adventurers. We saw a blonde girl get introduced, we saw the red hair man get introduced, and other people, one that had an ability sort of like a beast. And it was mentioned at the beginning of the episode that each person kind of develops their ability. I don't remember if each one of the person that is alive gets to develop an ability. I don't know if there's chosen ones or not, but regardless, once you have that ability, it is mentioned that you cannot develop it further. I guess that is meant to say that they cannot make it stronger, although I have my doubts, because if that is the case, then how will our main protagonist Sung get stronger? Or maybe he doesn't even have an ability to begin with, because I don't think it was mentioned that he had an ability. The only thing that it was mentioned that he had a little, you know, knife, and that was it. I mean, he was basically poor, so maybe he's going to get an OP ability or something like that. I'm not exactly sure what is going to happen, because again, it was mentioned at the beginning that once you have your ability, you cannot develop your ability any further. I don't exactly know what they meant by that. Maybe I'm just confusing myself and overthinking it, but yeah, I just wanted to mention that real quickly. But overall, a really great episode. I think we can all agree, and this is definitely one of those decisions or agreement that everyone comes together and says the same thing, that it was a great episode. It had everything, like I said at the beginning of the review. It had action, it had character development, it had great tense moments, it had mystery, it developed the story for the next episode, it makes you want to watch the next episode and the season as a whole. So overall, there is no complaints from me, not even one. I really like this anime, and I really think this is going to be the anime of the season. I don't think there's going to be other animes that can actually compete with this anime. Not that other animes are going to be bad or anything like that. I'm reviewing other animes in this channel that are actually really good, but I have this feeling that this anime will be, you know, the best one of this season. But yeah, I think that is everything that happened in the episode. If you don't want to miss any episode reviews of the anime, please subscribe, so again, you don't miss any. And if you like the episode, please give it a thumbs up. And yeah, that will be everything by me, and I guess I'll see you all in the next episode review.